Alright.
Good afternoon. Today I'm with you guys out here on the back patio with the Lost Distillery Company Towiemore. I purchased it at R&J Discount Liquor. This is a port finished whiskey, but we'll get into that in just a minute. I do want to give some credit. I was on Beer Man's Cheese and Beer and Cheese Tuesday night. He does a beer and cheese examination where we kind of do a comparison, try to pair up a beer and a cheese together. And like Bumpy's channel, I decided to let him pick the next review I did. I offered him a choice, and this is the bottle he selected. He's not really a Scotch or drinker by any means. He has drank it in the past, but he's not as frequent a drinker as I am. That's the best way to put it, I guess. Anyway, I will put links to his channel below, so y'all can visit if you decide to. It's real fun. I have a lot of fun when I'm over there, and I always learn a lot about beer, and in this case, beer and cheese. So it's very entertaining and very informative. Back to the whiskey itself. I had to look it up. I have bought this at R&J's, and this is actually a exclusive cask finish program for RJ from the Towiemore. So it's going to be a little different, I think, than probably your average Towiemore. What these were these are dead distilleries that a blending company in Scotland has come back, and they're blending malts to create a malt that tastes like the original spirit. And takes a lot of examination, a lot of research, and a lot of time to do this. I can give you a little history on the Towiemore. I think it's probably pretty pertinent right now. It is a Dufftown distillery. It existed, I'm using my notes here because I can't remember all this, 1898 to 1931. At its peak, it was top 3 rated. It had world renown. King of Spain and explorers drank Towiemore. Although the distillery was shut down in 1931, the malting floor was still used up until 1964. The other offerings from the Lost Distillery Company as of right now, because it was originally only 4 when I first knew about it, is Ochnaggy, Strathton, Towiemore, which is this one, Losset, Gerston, De La Rouen, I probably butchered that, and Jericho. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, and I will be repurchasing. I really have enjoyed this. This was a surprise for me. It is a blended malt, not a blended Scotch itself. And the way I understand it, it's all malt. It comes from a time back then when mostly they didn't drink pure malts. Most everything that was produced was put into blends. The actual consumption of single malts, I don't think it began to be very heavily consumed until probably the 60s. By everything that I've read, I know they were some consumption obviously earlier than that, but that's when it kind of started picking up steam to the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and so forth. All of these different distilleries went out for various reasons, whether there's economics, war problems. I mean, there's a whole mismanagement. I mean, there's a whole different slew of reasons. This one is 43% alcohol by volume. No age statement. And I can find on here nowhere where it says anything about color or chill filtering. A marriage of aged single malts. It's nice. It got a little thing, tells you a little bit more about it. This gives us tasting notes of, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to this time. Peach, vanilla, almonds, and cream. We'll see how it compares to my notes. Anyway, it's set in the glass long enough to kind of help it loosen up a bit, and I have enjoyed it. You can't tell it but I have really drank quite a bit of this. I'm somewhere down, and I've only owned this for about 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 tops. For me, that's down in here. Thank you for best I can tell in that black glass, but I've probably consumed quite a bit of this. It's been an enjoyable experience. Port finishes are hit and miss for me. This one's a hit. I actually enjoy this one. See up front on the nose, I do get the peach, but I get a bit of a berry note. I'm very susceptible to berries. I ate a lot of raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. I love berries. There's a cream and a vanilla. This one, they pretty much, really honestly dial in. And the nose, not so much the almonds. There's also a berry note along with that peach. And it's slightly overripe peaches. Don't think of fresh peaches at all in this case. And there's a rich maltiness. By rich maltiness, I mean without even tasting it, you get the sensation of the maltiness in your nasal faculties. I mean, it's a hard thing to describe. It's like if you worked in a factory that made malt and you smelled that all day. It just has a very intense malt note to it. And then there's the dates. I get dates with this one. Not so much spiciness on the nose, maybe just a touch of cardamom. That would be it. Palate. The nose is different than the palate on this one, but in a very good way. Sometimes a whiskey, there are similarities, but there's differences. In this one, sometimes when they're completely disjointed, it's no good. In this case, very mouth-watering. The peaches do really shine in the mouth. Then we get the almonds, the vanillas, the maltiness. The figs are there. A nice fig note. And that fig note just kind of sweet figs, sweet dried figs like you get out of, when you buy dried figs at the grocery store. I'm not going to name brands. But, and it rests on the side of your tongues. No awkward wood taste or anything like that coming through in this. But the maltiness and the creaminess is a very creamy mouthfeel. And there's actually a little, I would call it cream flavor in it as well. Almost a lactose note. How that comes across in a whiskey that I can't explain. It's all in the aldehydes. I didn't do the clinginess to the glass. It's got a fairly, I can tell you just on mouthfeel, it has a good viscosity to it. Medium to medium good. Poor medium and good. I would say this is between medium and good viscosity wise. Very clingy. Medium finish on it. We're still finishing. The peaches and the raspberries are hanging around. And the fig. Very fruity. Don't notice the cardamom so much in the mouthfeel. It's not a spicy malt. It's a sweet malt. I like it. And it has that port finished look. It's a good amber with a kind of a burgundy hue to it. A red burgundy hue to it. Just ever so slight. Deep, rich amber color. I don't know if it's got E151 in it or not. It does taste to me like it does have some aged malts in it. This doesn't taste all youthful. It's done very well. I actually like this one a lot. My first venture into the lost malts is a good venture into them. I really do enjoy this. It rests so well on the palate. There is a little bit of youthfulness to it, just a little bit. But there's also some decent maturity to it as well. I'm not going to say it's overly old, but there is some mature malt in there. And balance as well. I love the balance on it. I like it. I think this is a good... I should enjoy this a lot. I'm enjoying it more as I sit here and think on it. It may not have a super long finish that dwells with you, but it's got everything else it needs. It's got a good finish, and there's no awkwardness to this. There's some enjoyable sides to this that I really do enjoy. I'm going to give it a 90 out of 100. I enjoy it a lot. This particular one, unless you live in central Kansas and you visited RJ Discount Liquor there in Wichita, the chances of probably getting this particular one are not good. But I think it's probably a pretty good example of what their offerings are, and I look forward to trying more. I almost bought one yesterday, but I bought an Ardbeg Wee Beastie instead, so look forward to that one coming up for long. Anyway, I've said about all I can say about it. I enjoy it. I think it's a very good, it's definitely worth the repurchase in the upper $30 range for sure. It really is. I don't know if they got any left or not, but I have to check it out next time I'm there. Anyway, everyone have a good afternoon. Remember, the spirit in your glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip and enjoy it, and you'll be better for it, as will we all. Everyone have a good day.